Hey guys and girls, welcome back to some triangle strategy. So I did some grinding. I basically so if you want to know my grinding tactic, as you saw there, I had the difficulty down to very easy. What I've been doing for the most part is lowering the difficulty, going into the encampment, and then taking in only the people I'm grinding and Gila for heals into the last area, which would be take back to the castle gate. Because on very easy, a lot of the stuff doesn't do anything to you. So as you can see here, I got everyone at least like maybe 1 to 2 levels, maybe 3. I got Groma, I think up like 3 or so, because I want to use Groma in battle with us. But that's been the majority of what I've been doing. So it's been like for example, Roland, Benedict, and then Gila, and then basically Gila would heal. Roland and Benedict would be doing all the killing to get the experience. That's been my tactic. And then for main story, I'll go back up to normal, and then we continue. The party destroys the Aefrosti warships and proceeds into the castle. So where we left off, we were on our way to find Avlora and take back the castle from and save Cordelia.
There they are.
Cordelia!
House Wolfort. I cannot say I am surprised.
General of Laura, release Queen Cordelia and surrender yourself to us. Thalas and Erica are dead. Your ship is destroyed. There is no one coming to your aid. Nowhere for you to run.
Maxwell! I knew you were alive!
It's not Maxwell. Take that off,
Roland. A
Roland.
soldier worth her salt would forfeit her position without a fight. And even if he was a fool, Thalas was our prime minister. I am obligated to avenge him.
Come on, Roland.
Then draw your weapon.
Wait! General of Laura is not an enemy to the kingdom. She has sworn herself to my service and to Glenbrook's protection.
So she can manipulate you to her own ends, no doubt.
No. The oath she spoke to me was true.
Queen Cordelia.
Damn.
Please, lay down your arms. All of you.
I will not. Have you forgotten who forswore this kingdom and its royal family in the first place? Who invaded the Crown City and killed the king and Franny? Who exploited Glenbrook with no regard for its people?
We of Esfrost.
Exactly.
Tell me what you would call that if not evil.
And I suppose thieving into the Crown City and attacking without forewarning is justice.
I do not make such claims. And I know I cannot, until victory has been won.
Let's go.
Pretty words. So the winner takes it all. The castle, the queen, the right to claim justice. Is that what you desire?
That is all I have ever desired.
I can't let Roland fall. We can take 10 into this fight.
I'll do my best.
I guess
Honor is
it'd be
mine.
useful, but I really want another Magica user, but I guess that's fine. I'm gonna move you close. Put you on this side. Why is she with us? Oh, I can't take her out yet. Okay. I almost kind of want to bunch together, I'm not gonna lie. Especially if we're dealing with Avlora. What I feel is gonna be a problem. I might do that. We might just keep everyone kind of like a unit. Because I don't trust Avlora in the slightest. I feel like something bad is gonna happen.
Everything rests on this, Serenoa.
I know. No doubt.
Indeed. She killed my master. Killing her will prove our cause is righteous. Come. Let us be rid of these Azfrosti bastards!
Looks like I'm up.
Alright. Archibald,
Might.
get a bird's eye view from here.
Time to work.
Oh, is she going straight through the middle? Ballsy, okay. What are you doing? Oh. Took forever to make your move. Oh my god, guys.
I won't lose!
I'm gonna need you though. I'm gonna have to have Roland kind of lacking behind because
Allow me.
I can't let him die.
Choices.
We're all gonna be just pouring through this left side here.
This battle is ours.
If Avlora is coming right through the middle though, I gotta be ready for her.
Forward.
Let
us pry out their
We must stay vigilant.
Looks like I'm up.
Oh, I was hoping I could reach this dude, but that's fine.
Shall we begin?
You got a regen on her? Really? Really?
Whatever it takes.
I will do what I
Much
can.
appreciated.
All these battle mages are gonna be a problem.
Face me if you dare.
Your orders?
Yo, she straight is coming through the middle. I don't want to go that deep. We'll go here. Poison him.
You won't escape. This'll hurt.
There you go.
My turn.
Shall I? I shan't miss.
Back at you.
The hunt is on.
Jeez, why so much damage, dude?
Shall we dance?
It's kind of wild. But he's dead,
Good night.
of course.
Forward.
I'm not really surprised at that. Alright, squeeze in. A little
I
bit.
see a path to victory.
Chilling out on this side.
No need to panic.
That's it.
Go for him,
Shall we begin?
because it happens to be on... this side. Can I just cure her? No. Okay, that's fine. Sanctuary her.
This is what I do. Much obliged.
Keep my martial artists alive, please. They're coming
Allow
too.
me.
The battle mages are gonna be stupid, man. Watch.
Whatever it takes.
Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. They have a lot of ranged users. I hate that so much, man.
Face me if you dare.
Your orders?
She was coming too, and then she was just like, nope, it's time to go backwards again.
Sound strike. Sound strike.
My turn. This is where you fall.
You're open. Victory is within reach.
Yeah, just take your damn turn.
Ha!
Ah, you missed.
Shall I?
I'll bypass you and just kill off this dude.
This ends here.
Quick.
A wasted effort.
Defeat is not an option.
Hello. Back in the mix.
Now I end this.
This battle is ours. This ends now!
Let us pry out their weakness. We must stay vigilant.
Serenoa.
Forward.
Hawk dive our boy
Now
here.
that hit the mark.
Shall we dance?
Big damage. We shall dance, Milo. Your sexy ass. God, she's,
Light as a butterfly.
okay, she missed. Sadness. Da, 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 da.
I will
Ow.
end this.
Ba, da, da.
To ashes.
Here comes even more. Great.
I'll take it from here.
Let's do this.
Thank you. You are so naive.
Let me heal your wounds.
Allow me. Yes, this will do.
No need to panic.
I will crush you.
She's coming back, isn't she? No, she's gone.
Your orders?
where she's going. Slumber stab him.
Silence.
Did it not work?
Silence.
Oh my god, dude. Why? Why is nothing I want to work working? I have to be careful with him. I don't like him being there, no.
Shall I? I don't pull my punches. Too obvious.
For the honor of House Wolfort.
I can Octave Mage.
Death
Do it.
from above.
I show no mercy.
I need these mages gone badly. There's 2 more back there that
Flee while you
or
have the
1 more,
chance.
I think. Keep running away, please. Oh no!
Any who do not wish to die would do well to with.
Roma!
Here I
Oh,
come.
okay. Okay, that's not bad. It's not bad. You're good, you're good. Who are we dealing with? Is it just 1 more mage? I think it is just 1 more. Okay. Go for the mage.
Take that!
Even if it kills you, we need that mage gone. Like now. Like yesterday. He's gonna be
There
stupidly
is no
annoying.
mercy on the battlefield.
Can I do it now? I can't do it now. Alright, but I can do... Give Groma
Let us
Much
reverse our
the
appreciated.
heal.
fortunes.
Choices, choices.
How far is the jump? Oh, wow. Oh, the mage is just guarded to hell and back. Okay.
Now,
Now. No, stop! Guys.
I will end this
Will you?
with the powers in me. Let me heal your wounds. Be at ease.
Sorry to worry you.
Strike while the iron's hot.
Ow! These ice users, damn it.
Now then,
I need to kill the mage.
slow.
Your orders?
Can I throw? I can't reach with the throw. I hate it here, dude. Okay.
This is the end. Too obvious.
The floor is going.
Face me if you dare. You'll be nothing but a blood stain upon my blade. So you survived, Dawnspear? No matter. I have beaten you once. My blade thirsts for another taste of your blood.
I was powerless then, but not now.
Charge!
You will do no such thing right now, dude. I know you want to. But I need heals on people.
Shall I?
Can I reach the mage? I can reach the mage. Get him.
This ends here.
Stop him from running and peppering us.
What would Father do?
That's gonna help a lot. Who's next? He's next. I can hog die for you, kill you. Move down here.
This isn't
God.
Kind of want to heal you.
Now!
There is no mercy on the battlefield.
Can't do it now. How's everyone looking on their side? Not great for us.
A brief respite is as light as a feather.
Choices.
Use
This
this.
will help. Whatever it takes.
Julia.
Allow me. Blade, it worked!
Let me heal your wounds.
We're one and all. Keep fighting!
Just chill here. Ow.
Flee
gonna do
while
with
you
Laura?
have the chance. I struck you down with my...
I am S. Frost's bane. My mask stays on until the last handful of dirt falls upon your grave.
Or until I kill you and rip it from your face myself. I am...
Wait, what is this? Bloody cross? Oh my gosh!
Your orders?
What the hell, lady? What kind of bullshit was that?
We're not done here.
This is the end.
Have another.
Buster, go! Holy Schniza.
No need to panic.
I'm kind of shaking a little bit. That was a ridiculous move.
It's nothing personal.
I won't lose!
I'm gonna bring you down and heal.
I'll try this.
Do we just... Ow.
Prepare yourself.
I don't pull my punches. Impressive.
The situation is grim.
She's fourth, right? I can delay her to eighth. Do that.
I shall try my level best.
That's for you.
Let us reverse our fortunes.
Now what to do?
Ow, ow. These healers,
I shall do
man,
what
are
I can.
stupid. Okay, what I'm thinking is... I go here. Sanctuary us three.
We're one and all. You have my gratitude.
I'll take it from here.
Keep those heals strong. And then I can do this to you.
I will do what I can.
Thank you.
So you can have a chance to
Face me if
do
you dare.
something good against her. Ow.
It hurts.
That did hurt. Why did she heal that much? That's kind of annoying. Wait, why can't I hit her with Fire Eater? Oh wait, no, that's not. Yeah, I gotta hit her with this.
Blade, heed my
Why did
call.
she heal 100?
My
Holy
turn.
shnipe. That damage.
Allow me.
Get on her.
That hit the mark. My turn.
Flash of steel.
This is where you fall. That hit the mark.
Just stay on her.
Looks like I'm up.
You're open. Weakling. This is my chance.
Not my healer. Are you kidding me with that amount of damage, dude? I can energy wave her, right?
For these old bones.
Yeah. Oh, that does it. Yeah.
She's gonna go. She's gonna kill
You'll
her.
be nothing but a blood stain upon
Oh.
my
Feet
blade.
is not an option.
Okay, she threw. She could have took out my healer easily, but she didn't. Delay her?
I'll make
Again?
this quick. Haha!
This is troubling.
This is very troubling. Wait. We got a now. I'm gonna give it to my
Must
healer.
Stay vigilant.
We mustn't lose heart.
Have her cure yourself if you need it. Oh, I fucking hate them.
You've made a grave mistake.
Your orders?
We need to just kill her. We just need to try and kill her. Those healers are gonna come down and do stupid stuff like this.
Allow me. Haha!
You won't fool me.
Whatever it takes.
God, I wish I could take someone's place. Oh, is she next? Wait. Oh, no, she's not. No. You're next. Okay, so... that's for you, then.
We can do this.
Thank you. It hurts.
Who's after you? I think it's Serena. So Scorch them's three.
For victory.
Oh, you're next. Alright, take her out.
Too slow.
There you go.
To think, this is as far as I go.
I needed her gone. That was a powerhouse. Now we just have to recover from just being excruciatingly surrounded by all these damn... Oh, okay. We just need to take her out. Not too bad. I feel we did pretty good. I thought we'd have to kill all of them.
We have won. You are finished, General of Laura.
How have I failed?
Stop! Please, you've already won.
No, not yet. We cannot stand before the people and declare victory while our enemy yet lives.
This is the reality of war, Queen Cordelia. Do me the honor of witnessing my final moments.
General!
Glenbrook demands justice. Step aside, Your Majesty.
Then I beg you, as Queen of Glenbrook, do not do this. Spare her, please. I cannot bear this cruelty.
As you wish. Let us end this war and spill no further blood in its name.
There you go.
But the names of our murdered kin still cry out for vengeance. For them, I will see her dead.
Wait, is that...
It's rolling. Take it off.
Roland, is that you?
Roland Glenbrook. Back from the dead.
Let us settle this once and for all, Avlora.
What are you saying, Prince Roland?
About the dueler?
There is no need for you to take such a risk.
No, but indulge me this one last time. Allow me to finish it on my terms.
Very well.
So you wish to duel me before the throne? Fine. I accept your challenge.
Damn.
Not here. Come.
This is where I defeated Maxwell. You have a penchant for poetic justice, I see.
Mock me for being sentimental if you wish. I care not.
No,
Get her.
Tiefling. 'Tis not something I hold in contempt. But your sentimentality will not save you from the same fate as your master.
Oh, this is the move. Get her. Stop her. This is what took him out. Did he dodge it? Hell yeah. Damn.
Victory is mine.
That's what I'm talking about, Roland.
You fight well. Well enough to protect her. To protect Cordelia in my stead.
She's gonna fall off. Damn.
General of Laura!
Roland casts off his mask and defeats Avlora in a duel, though her body falls into the Nozelia River and is lost. After a momentary withdrawal, the Hyzantian forces attack the Crown City again when word of General Avlora's demise reaches them. The Isfrosti army folds quickly without anyone to lead them. House Wolffort defeats the remaining guards and seizes control of the castle. They secure the Crown City just as dawn breaks, though the battle has not left the city or its people unscathed.
What? The whole reason we did this plan is so we could leave them unscathed. I hope it isn't that crazy. Oh my gosh! Jeez!
It is finished.
But the road ahead is long and arduous. Glenbrook's wounds run deep.
So deep it makes me wonder if the kingdom will ever recover.
We will make sure it does. There is nothing the combined might of the Glenbrook royal line and House Wolffort cannot achieve.
Right you are. How glad I am to have you by my side, old friend.
Vengeance burns within me. Completed. Oh, we did it. That was, that went a lot more swimmingly than I thought. More smoothly, I guess.
Overwhelmed by the forces of House Wolffort, Esfrost's troops are scattered and driven from the Crown City. Glenbrook, at last, is free. Several days after this fateful battle, Queen Cordelia announces her intent to abdicate the throne and make way for another. Roland Glenbrook, his face no longer hidden from the world, will take his rightful place at the seat of power. With the prince's friends having only just finished grieving his death, and his enemies having only just finished toasting to it, this news shocks the foundations not only of Glenbrook, but of Nozelia itself. Prince Roland has proven his pedigree by storming the walls of Whiteholm and routing his enemies, delivering his sister to safety in the process. The prince becomes king, and condemns the schemes of Gustadolf, making known Esfrost's plot to usurp the throne. However, the people's reaction to this news is not quite a chorus of approval. It is plain that the ravages of war and the shame of subjugation have left an indelible mark on the once prosperous nation. Although the battle for Glenbrook is behind them, Serenoa and the rest of the city's liberators must make ready for a struggle of an entirely different sort.
Glory shall find you.
Congratulations on returning to your rightful throne, King Roland.
Ah, you've returned. My friend, a word.
Yes,
I am honored to have had you by my side on this journey. To be able to call you friend.
as am I, Roland.
Your Majesty, representatives from Hyzant have arrived.
We shan't make undue demands of your time, King Roland. We've simply come to say farewell.
Heading back to Hyzant.
Without your aid, my people would still be under Esfrost's iron rule. Glenbrook owes you a debt of gratitude.
One we will pay back.
Consider the debt paid. The knowledge we gleaned of Elfric's capabilities was more than worth our troubles.
Oh, okay. From
Indeed.
so it was like field
it
tests for
surpassed my
their
every
crystal.
expectation. The Holy One is sure to be pleased with the results.
Your Majesty, can we trust you to lift the embargo and keep Esfrost subdued?
Of course. Lord Wolford has promised his full cooperation in that regard.
Your Majesty, lest you misunderstand your friend's position, allow me to make one matter abundantly clear. Minister Serenoa is of the Saintly Seven. He is not to serve at your whims, but by the grace of the Hierophant.
Oh,
I understand. But he is also a Lord of Glenbrook. More importantly, he is my friend. As such, I would ask for his assistance in the days ahead, as I have in days past.
Your Majesty, it is plain that the friendship between you two runs deep. However, the rules of politics are old and immutable.
And what does the Lord himself think of his new position?
Of course, I am grateful for the honor Hyzant has bestowed upon me. I will do all in my power to serve both the Hierophant and King Roland with all faithfulness.
In other words, the Hierophant does not have your full loyalty.
Well,
Glenbrook and Hyzant are to be two nations united in purpose. Surely it is reasonable that Lord Serenoa acts in service to both? Perhaps King Roland and the Hierophant should discuss my lord's role together.
That's good ideas.
You are right, of course. It is not our place to assume the goddess's intent.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll talk to the
Very
Hierophant.
I hope to meet with the Holy One as soon as my duties allow. I expect busy days ahead for you, Serenoa. Be prepared.
Certainly, Your Majesty.
Milo shall stay in Glenbrook for the time being. If there is aught
Milo,
she can
I thought it was
assist you
Mila.
with, consider her at your complete disposal.
Some of these names are weird to me. I don't know.
Remember, Milo, that you are the symbol of friendship between our two nations.
But of course, I live to serve, Minister.
I also gotta say some of the voice acting
with that,
in this
we
is pretty
shall
bad.
take
I'm
our
not gonna
leave.
lie. I don't like it.
May we meet again soon.
But a lot of it's okay.
They leave us with a spy. It seems we still haven't won their trust entirely.
Of course.
Whatever secrets they uncover will only attest to our commitment to the friendship between us.
Still, their actions speak volumes. Their aid has not come without expectation of just recompense. Already, they seek to make Lord Serenoa their puppet.
But we need Hyzant's aid to crush Esfrost.
By the same token, we cannot resist Hyzant without Esfrost's might. And once Esfrost is laid low, Glenbrook will have served its purpose. What then would stop Hyzant from tightening their grip?
Just as they did with the Rosal. The injustice I saw at the source is not something I'll soon forget. If you require proof of Hyzant's true nature, you need only remember.
I know. I know. This country is my home. Built by my father and the kings before him. Safeguarded by my sister and generations of my forebears. I will rebuild it. Restore its glory and its pride. We will not be treated as dogs at the end of a leash.
For now, we must look within. Only after that work is done should we look without.
Oh, it's you.
May we speak for a moment?
Of course, brother. My apologies. I'm so happy you're alive. It's just... I believed you dead for so long.
I understand. But hiding from the world was the only way.
You needn't explain. I don't blame you in the least.
Thank you. About General Avlora.
Avlora... She was...
She was a servant of Esfrost. Our enemy.
I know.
And you know there was no room for mercy. Not if we wanted to win back Glenbrook. Not if I wanted to rescue you from Esfrost's clutches. However, I thought you deserved to know. She did have parting words. She asked me to protect you in her stead. It seems she cared for you, in her own way.
She did. She was harsh, but always kind.
Our scouts are yet searching for her, but her wounds were grave. I fear when we find her, she will... Cordelia, what's wrong?
I'm fine. I simply need to rest.
Fine? I think not. I'll call a healer.
No. This whole time, I've refused to show even a moment of weakness. It seems my efforts have taken a toll.
You did well, sister. Now you may relinquish your burdens. I'm here, and I won't leave you again. But please, visit the infirmary. Some bed rest will surely set both of our minds at ease.
Thank you. I'm glad to see your trials haven't stripped you of your kindness. Welcome home, brother.
So, the Crown City has fallen. I see. And what of General Avlora?
She fell into the Norzelia River and has not been seen since.
And my siblings, Thalos and Erica?
They died, fighting bravely in battle. My condolences, Your Grace.
I understand. I have fewer pieces on the board than ever now.
Pieces. Really is true what they say about him.
You don't give a fuck about anyone.
It seems I was wrong to think that Hyzant would remain idle. Or was my more grievous error to be taken in by the prince's false death? Regardless, I was a fool to show House Wolford any mercy.
Your Grace, reports from the battlefield tell of an unknown weapon being brought to bear against our forces.
Oh? Continue.
They say it sank one of our ships in a blast of purple.
Our iron, our pride, torn apart like sheets of parchment before a storm. We mustn't allow Hyzant to think they've won the upper hand. I intend to answer their weapon with one of my own.
After retaking Whiteholm Castle, Roland assumes the throne. Joy over the return of the line of Glenbrook sweeps the kingdom. Yet not everyone is quick to welcome Roland back with open arms. Life under Esfrosti rule treated them well, and they suspect him to be naught but a figurehead of a puppet regime. Roland's absence, it seems, made room for discord among his subjects to flourish.
So that is what happened in my absence.
Yes. Gustadolf was a clever ruler. After the invasion, Patriot and his royalists cozied up to Esfrost in order to protect themselves. Gustadolf used them to his every advantage. He stripped them of their privileges and left them nothing but their governing responsibilities. I don't think Patriot much cared for that, but it did ensure everything continued smoothly, without interrupting the people's lives.
Now I understand why there was little unrest after the occupation began.
A clean, effective takeover by a well-seasoned commander.
But all the while, he was preparing to face the next conflict.
Wait, does he intend to march on Hyzant next?
I believe so. I wish I could be more specific. But the Goddess's shield cannot protect the Holy State's capital from Esfrost. Not anymore. He said it will all be over once the Death Snell is ready.
What is this Death Snell?
A new weapon born from the coupling of his frosty ironworking and explosive projectiles. Thalos claimed it is powerful enough to break through the Goddess's shield.
To think Esfrost is capable of creating such a monstrosity.
So much for their reign of peace. Taking over Glenbrook was only the first move in a bigger gambit to seize the source.
I am disturbed to learn of Gustadolf's plan. But rebuilding our capital must take priority.
Very well. We should investigate the extent of the damage and discuss how best to proceed from there. House Wolford will lend whatever aid you need.
Thank you, Serenoa. But since you are one of their Saintly Seven now, I'd ask you to keep an eye on Hyzant as well.
Cordelia? Apologies. A brief spell of dizziness.
I have been looking everywhere for you, Your Highness.
Patriot.
I do not recall giving you leave of the infirmary. Your injuries are still healing. Would you undo all the trouble I went through to get you the best of care? Pray, return to the infirmary at once.
It wouldn't do to push yourself, Cordelia. Rest now. Leave everything to me.
All right.
We got a pretty good understanding of the damage in the capital, my lord. It's a tad more than we were expecting.
I see. Then we must make haste with repairs. Let's report this to Hyzant and see what aid they can give us. Was there anything of note besides damage?
There ain't an easy way of putting this, but not everyone's exactly pleased to hear Prince Roland's returned. Esfrost exempted Glenbrook's subjects from the salt tax. Likely a bid to get in everyone's good graces. A damn good one at that. But more than that, the so-called freedom Gustadolf brought to the kingdom seems to have made a splash. He threw out the old ways and made it so anyone could better their lot in life depending on their ability, instead of their birthright.
Just as in Esfrost.
Then the people must have looked quite favorably upon Gustadolf's rule.
I wager folks ain't too pleased to see us, since they figure it means things will go back to how they used to be.
Roland surmised as much. We must do something to show the people his is a return worth celebrating.
Anna, have you looked into the state of affairs in the castle?
Yes. The head of the Royalists, Minister Patriot, is extending his influence. He made quite the name for himself, even under Gustadolf. Though he seems eager enough to support King Roland, he was just as eager to serve the Archduke. I do not believe we can trust him.
Clearly, he's just shady. I don't think
Distinguished members of House Wolfford, how hard you are all working to rebuild our capital. What a delightful thing to see.
Minister, you do us a great honor visiting us out of all the many other responsibilities that must vie for your attention.
Oh, come now, do not think yourself so insignificant. The entire kingdom owes you its thanks, myself included, of course. We are so grateful for House Wolfford's aid, even though you now serve a different master.
We are only doing what any of King Roland's loyal vassals would.
Speaking of the king, I'm afraid we've a bit of a problem. His Majesty seems to be entertaining thoughts of retaliating against Esfrost. But the people have had their fill of war, and I'm sure you're already aware the people look upon the royal line with disfavor. I only beg you take every care going forward.
A warning.
Even so, there is naught we can do but focus on rebuilding.
Indeed. Let us return to the king and apprise him of our progress.
I would walk the city with Sheila a bit longer and speak with the people.
As you wish. But this is not the capital you knew. Be careful, my love.
$11 character stories? Holy schnizel. There's a lot going on in this episode. Okay. Alright, let's go down the list then.
right, lads and lasses, lay down your arms. Let your bruises remind you of the lessons learned today.
Ah, what fortuitous timing.
Probably not gonna get through all of these in
I
this
still
part,
owe
but
you for the drinks from the other evening.
It'll
I
probably
wondered
bleed
if
over
I
into the
might
next
treat you
episode.
tonight.
Apologies, lass, but I've got places to be. Perhaps another time.
You seemed troubled by something. Perhaps I'm overthinking it.
Let us end our day's work here.
It is early, is it not? Is something amiss?
No, nothing at all. Just my attention is required elsewhere for a time.
Oh. Are they both going out to what's-her-name's grave?
Elsewhere? Curious.
How many have you had?
Not enough. Just one for you, I take it.
Yes.
Went by in a flash. Can you believe it's been 30 years?
The time has escaped us. The memory of that day, however, I doubt ever will.
"30 years ago, during the Saldaran War."
Thrice damned, can't move.
Young Eredor. Look at him.
Always thought I'd meet my end with a beautiful lass, but
You have many days ahead of you yet, Eredor.
Look at Benedict.
We'll see you returned home.
That's cool.
Don't try to run, you curs!
leave me be. I'll just slow you down. It was my cursed pride that got us into this. Only I should suffer for it. We don't all need to die today. Run!
Even in the face of death, you refuse to set aside your foolish pride. I followed you into this hell of my own will, and I will see you delivered from it.
Aw. Brothers in arms.
Fool!
Charge!
Come and die.
Yeah!
Damn.
That would have been it for us, had Lord Simon not met their charge in time.
Aye. And the only punishment for my pride were these aches that keep me awake at night.
We hungered for glory all those years ago, without a care for how it would serve us later on.
A couple of would-be heroes who couldn't be convinced they weren't invincible.
Yet here we are, drinking, to celebrate the end of that war. I do not wish to reminisce upon the past. A toast that I may never again repeat the mistakes of my youth. But before that...
Yeah?
You have served House Wolford well, Eredor. That said, I've a feeling we'll need your sturdy shield even more going forward.
You need me to lead a charge? I'm your man. I'll leave anything fancier than that to you. For House Wolford!
For House Wolford.
see what Roland's up to.
Roland, what are you doing out here?
There's hardly a better place to become lost in one's thoughts. Don't you agree?
I suppose. However, if aught weighs on your mind, it may serve you better to turn to a friend.
Then let me ask, do you believe me too immature for my station?
Not at all. Quite the opposite, in fact.
But the other nobles loved to gossip of my disinterest in politics and intrigue, and mocked my love of hawking.
You said it yourself. Gossip and sniping, nothing more. Pay no mind to nobles and their petty judgments. The people who matter, your subjects, hold you dearly in their hearts. Stories abound of their love for you.
Hey, go peddle your junk somewhere else.
And why would I do that, my good sir? I see no reason to forego such a bustling avenue simply to please a stranger.
A stranger? You're posted in front of my damn shop. You're stealing my customers from right under my nose.
Oh, I am? I'm not sure your lack of customers could be blamed on me. Surely the proprietor bears some responsibility for...
What bickering is this?
None of your business, whelp. Now leave us to our negotiations.
Prince Roland, is that really you?
A prince, you say? Well,
A distinguished gentleman such as yourself must be mortified to have your customers bear witness to this childish bickering.
I'm sorry, Your Highness. My temper got the best of me.
And you, merchant. If you mean to trade in Glenbrook, I trust you have procured the proper licenses and approvals.
Well, the process takes some days, you see. Pardon, Your Highness.
Then your business shall have to wait some days, it seems. Shall I summon a member of the Kingsguard to explain the law in detail?
No, there'll be no need of that, Highness. I'll just be on my way.
Thank you, Prince Roland. Come visit any time, and I'll let you have your pick of my wares.
Your place has always been with your people. You could walk down the main avenue and settle disputes with a single word.
Don't tell me you were watching. They were petty arguments, nothing more.
As petty as they might have been, you were happy to do it. What better proof of royalty is there than that?
But it wasn't because I was wise that I solved their problems. It was my name and status that let my words wait. How do you imagine a kingdom with not a single dissatisfied soul would look?
That's a difficult thing to imagine.
Indeed. I suppose the best one can hope for is to do what we can, while we can.
Well, we can start envisioning such a nation. That one day we might build it. Together.
I like the sound of that. No doubt the answers we seek lie ahead, so long as we stay honest with ourselves. And so long as we work together, you and I, Serenoa.
Frederica.
Do you have a moment, Sheila?
Oh, Frederica. Is something the matter?
Well, I invited Serenoa to have dinner with me tonight.
Oh.
Wonderful. Are you cooking for him?
I am. I've been practicing with the book you gave me. I was hoping to finally show him what I've learned.
Then allow me to help. What are you making?
A warm soup full of meatballs. A hearty, meaty, savory stew to tickle the tongue and sate the stomach. Or so the book describes it.
That sounds like quite a mouthful, in more ways than one.
The author is rather verbose, yes. Anyhow, I also want to make an appetizer. Might you be able to lend a hand?
Cooking is hardly my specialty, but say no more. I'd love to.
I don't like that sound.
Oh dear.
This is disappointing, to say the least.
And we're almost out of time. Serenoa will be back any minute now.
Excuse me, Lady Frederica.
I feel like he'll enjoy it regardless.
Lord Serenoa has just sent word that he has been held up at a meeting.
Oh.
He says there is a chance he may not even return tonight.
I see. Thank you for letting me know.
Okay, so you're off the hook.
It sounds like your dinner may get postponed.
A blessing in disguise. It gives us time to cook this again and do it right this time.
Lord Serenoa may not even return tonight.
But there is a chance he might. And I refuse to disappoint him. Would you help me, Sheila?
Of course, Frederica. I shall do my very best to see this through with you.
I cannot thank you enough.
The vegetables are done, though they are a far cry from perfect.
The meatballs are ready too. Now all we have to do is stew them.
Frederica, I'm back.
Oh, welcome back.
It appears we've run out of time.
I was on my way here when something urgent came to my attention. I apologize for returning so late. I know we were supposed to have dinner tonight.
I am just happy you're here. Besides, I am the one who should apologize. I wanted to cook you a meal, but failed terribly on my first attempt, so it isn't yet ready. I'm sorry, Serenoa.
Don't look so down, Frederica. I was delighted when you asked me to share a meal. Now that I'm back, why don't I help you with the food?
Serenoa.
There you go. Cooking together, like that's cute.
Thank you again for inviting me. I'm overjoyed we could spend this time together.
As am I. I enjoyed cooking with you as well.
The time we spend together is very precious to me. I regret that my duties have been keeping us apart lately. But when I noticed the sky was even more beautiful than ever this night,
Aww.
I hurried home, hoping we could gaze upon its beauty together.
It's strange. When I was in Esfrost, I would look up at the same sky.
That's cute.
But it felt so much colder there. The stars seemed as if frozen. They did not twinkle the way they do now that I am with you, Serenoa.
Frederica, promise me that you will always stay by my side. I need you, now more than ever.
Of course, Serenoa. I wish to gaze up at the same sky, sit beneath the same moon, and walk the same path you do. Together. Forever and always.
Aww. So cute. I'm a fan. I shipped this arranged marriage up first and then just slowly fell head over heels.
Under this tree.
This here's the land of the Jax clan. Or used to be, more like.
What's the Jax
That
clan?
clasp on your chest, that's their sigil.
Oh.
If I'm not mistaken.
Assassin group of some sort?
It's a memento from my parents. Or so I was told.
Aye. Now that I'm looking for it, I can see the resemblance. Same silvery hair and everything. Villages near here met with a pretty terrible fate. They begged the armies to spare their fields. The only one who listened was one of House Wolfort's bannermen. No one was surprised, big war hero that he was. But by the time we got here, the Jax had been all but exterminated.
Damn.
He was digging graves for the dead, enemy and all. A hero and a gentleman he was. Names on the tip of my tongue.
Benedict.
Aye, that was it. Do you know the man? I'd like you to pass on my gratitude, if you do.
Oh. That's why she went into service.
Thanks for showing me the way.
I guess.
Your coin's all the thanks I require. If that's all you'll be needing me for, I'll leave you to it.
You make a poor stalker.
Ain't exactly what I'm built for.
Clearly.
You fought in the battle here, didn't you?
Benedict swore me to secrecy. But suppose it ain't break an oath if you already know. Oh, but first I ought to tell you. You've the right to the truth. And those ain't my words. They're his. That's why he never tried to stop you from finding out about your parents.
You know of their fate?
We drove the enemy up the cliff top. Cornered him there. The same instant we cut their leader down, a babe cried out in the distance. In the hideout, we found you, all swaddled up. A letter pinned to you with that same clasp on your chest.
Live strong, Anna. Stronger than any. I see now.
Your family died at our hands. If it's vengeance you want, you can take it out on me.
That doesn't sound like the Eredor I know. Do you think so little of me? To assume I would forsake my friend, bloody my hands with revenge. I know the truth at last. That is enough.
So our family.
Is it, Anna?
We're enemies to them.
Or are you forcing it to be?
Don't be a fool. Benedict is the one who raised me. If I ever want for a father, I know where to find him. When we've won this war, I shall make sure he understands that.
Damn. Eredor, what are you up to? Learning so much lore about each character.
Made it in time, my lord.
Eredor, you came.
Lady Destra. Your mother was loved by one and all, my lord. Honoring her this day is the least we can do.
What happened to that gravestone on the side there?
Is it just you here, my lord?
We are beset on all sides by tasks large and small. I would not impose my familial obligations on the others.
Spoken like a true leader. Me and your mother may not have been family by blood, but duty bound us just as close.
I am sure she would have been overjoyed to see you by my side. I never had a chance to know her. My only memories are from stories others told me. And still, I somehow can feel the warmth of her embrace, hear the loving sound of her voice.
She was smitten, that is true. She held on to you so tightly, I reckon not even the Dawn Spear could have pried you from her.
Did she?
Lady Destra's smile was brighter than the sun, and near as constant. She treated young Benedict and I like little brothers, though at times we weren't so deserving of her care. Even so, she always had a kind word, and worry enough to spare. There weren't a woman like her in all of Norzelia.
I did not know the bond between you three ran so deep. Benedict never mentioned it.
His lips aren't as loose as mine, especially when it comes to Lady Destra. Speaking of which, here. Your mother would have loved to get one of these from you.
A snowbell? My father mentioned her fondness for these flowers. Every year when I visited her, without fail, one of these would be placed in front of her grave. Was that you all this time?
Well, not exactly, my lord.
They're quite rare, are they not? I often search for them, but I have yet to see one in bloom. Where did you find it?
Well, I made a journey down south. Benedict insisted. Apologies for my absence, my lord.
There is naught to apologize for. 'Twas a thoughtful gesture, and I thank you for it. Somehow, I can feel Mother smiling down upon us.
More than I deserve, if I'm being honest.
Huh. There's already a snowbell. Who could have...
Should have known. Nothing will stop him from his duty.
Benedict.
What was that?
It was nothing, my lord. Seems we're not the only ones carrying a torch for Lady Destra.
Indeed. We are fortunate to be part of such a close-knit house. And that is thanks to those who serve it. I trust I'll see you here again in a year's time, Eredor.
Of course, my lord. Snowbells might capture a moment in time, but your mother inspired loyalty for an eternity. At it again, eh? You know, even the Dawn Spear set down his weapon on occasion.
Gotta keep sharp.
We are at war. I cannot hope to end it by being idle.
Spoken like a true member of the Kingsguard. You lot were always too serious for my tastes.
We were not serious enough. Where is the king we were meant to protect now? What will become of his kingdom?
Ooh.
King Regna and Crown Prince Franny are no more. Only Roland and Cordelia remain. When I think of how lonely my charge must feel, I almost feel smothered by the guilt.
If he's lonely, he hides it well. Could be that losing his princely obligations has lifted a weight off his shoulders.
And who are you to speak on his feelings? His father ever doted on Franny. He knew precious few moments of his mother's love before she passed. Even so, he tried his utmost to never show weakness in front of his sister. He was there for her in the worst of times. There was never a place near the throne for him. Truth be told, Sir Maxwell was more of a father to him than anyone. I'd like to think I have been more than his guard. Oftentimes, I felt like his confidant.
You and Floogie are constant companions.
As I said before, my prince, he is more than my companion. He is the truest friend I could ask for.
A true friend. I must admit, I envy your relationship.
My prince, I did not mean to.
'Tis nothing to apologize for. I simply find the idea of soaring the skies with a true friend to be somewhat romantic.
You could do the same with the proper training. If it pleases you, my prince, I would gladly teach you.
You would? Then I gladly accept. I trust you will go easy on me.
I can promise no such thing. You must become as ferocious as a hawk yourself if you wish to ride one. War broke out soon after that. My promise to teach him is yet unfulfilled. So I will train, I will fight, until the skies are no longer clouded by the fires of war. Only then can I rest. Only then can we fly free. Perhaps then, with the wind in our faces, we can forget our stations, our titles, if only just for one moment.
What was that last part? You'll have to speak up.
Nothing. Nothing at all. Yes, it's back to training for me.
Some sort of, I don't know, I sense like a weird sort of love there, maybe? Potentially? I don't know.
It's become
I could be
late.
just reading
You
into
best keep
things.
an eye out for
It
bandits.
just seems kind of like maybe
You have a
something's
warrior's
there.
intuition. You needn't worry.
For Hewitt
I won't
and,
let us come to harm.
Roland.
It takes no great intuition to see that this world is falling ever deeper into chaos. The reasons, however, remain elusive. Will we see our way safely through this darkness? I cannot say.
We have naught but our duty, and mine is to Prince Roland, whatever might become of House Wolford.
I find your perspective refreshing. Although it may be direct, you walk the path you've chosen with confidence. On the other hand, I often feel that I'm fumbling. I had thought Gustadolf to be a man of reason. But now I see that he will not hesitate to employ deceit to achieve his goals. In a manner of speaking, he and I are not so different. I, too, once hoped to have the influence to change the nation. At least, I told myself so. Really, all I wanted was to be free, and Frederica was simply a means to that end. As long as I had what I wanted, I had no great concern for what became of her.
Gila,
But this war has caused me to reconsider that. I realize that Frederica herself is worth caring for. She's not the sheltered princess I took her to be. Her wits are a match even for Benedict. She surprised me and shamed me. I was wrong to underestimate her, to define her by her birth and station. She represents my greatest failures as a teacher, but also my greatest success. For she has truly taken my lessons to heart. I see now there is no shame in serving another, and no shame in sacrificing my freedom for something greater. Oh, but perhaps I've shared overmuch. For some reason, I find it easy to talk with you.
the feeling is mutual. You are not so aloof as I thought.
I've just had a thought. When the war is behind us, I may very well open my own school. Of course, you would be welcome to join me. I would be master of the classroom, and you could be master of the training yard. We could teach our students the art of hawksmanship. Our riders would be first class. What should our school be named? You will come and teach with me, won't you?
Not half so aloof as I thought.
So Gila was at first, she had her own ulterior motives, but kind of grew to enjoy being with Frederica and teaching her. Interesting stuff.
What's so urgent you can't let a man sleep?
Nothing less than the completion of my groundbreaking research, Eredor.
Oh, well now, that is something.
Indeed it is. I've managed to thermodynamically stabilize the quasi-liquid film forming on the surface of the...
Yes, I've heard all that. Now tell it to me in words a man can understand.
Right. Well, in layman's terms, I have created ice that never melts.
See how simple... Did you say ice?
Ice that never melts? What?
That's mighty impressive and all, but...
That's pretty
what
badass.
actual good does that do anyone?
Can we make like ice walls that
Sweet,
will stay up forever?
simple Eredor. We can use my creation to forge weapons with no need for iron.
Sounds useful, if it works as you say. But how's the durability?
Silly soldier. Do you take me for a fool? Of course I tested their durability. Worry not. A prototype shall arrive shortly. I bid you try it out for yourself. For better or worse, you're the most experienced soldier I know. And so I'd have you handle it first.
That sounds big and important. I reckon I'll take you up on it.
What news? Surely it's finished by now.
Afraid not. I come bearing unfortunate news from the smithy. It seemed plenty sturdy at first, but shattered the moment he took a hammer to it.
Oh.
He says it has a long way to go before it can be used in place of iron, I'm afraid.
Preposterous! My calculations were impeccable. Surely I have not forsaken my homeland in pursuit of a fool's errand.
That's all a bit dramatic, isn't it? You can't have a breakthrough without breaking a couple of ice blades. You know what'd wash away all that pain? A nice cold glass of spirits. Spirits? That's it! That unmelted ice of yours could chill him forever, could it not? Groundbreaking indeed! This invention of yours could still take the world by storm.
And I reckon the army'd have use for it as well. It'd keep our rations from going off. Weapons be damned. You've done very important work.
The fact remains that my calculations were in error. So forgive me my reluctance to.
Less sulking, more drinking. You succeeded, haven't you? Right then, this'll be my treat, and I won't be turning in till you do.
Very well. Scientific breakthroughs never come easily, I suppose. Perhaps my next experiment shall be seeing how many rounds my everlasting ice can chill. Right then, to the encampment with us. 'Tis time for a drink or three.
That's the spirit. Just promise me I won't have to haul your drunken ass home this time.
Go on, have another glass. I'm offering top shelf drink for bottom shelf prices tonight. No need to fret over your coin purses.
See? This is why we keep coming back. Nobody treats us better than our Hasabar.
Quite the crowd tonight, eh? Good to see it.
All thanks to you for supplying me with that mead.
Thanks to my good fortune, you mean. I got it for so cheap on account of the batch not measuring quite up to the brewer's usual standards.
Still, look at how happy it's made them. There's nothing I love more than seeing my tavern full to bursting like this. Thank you, Eridor. Truly.
It's nothing, honest.
And just like that, they've nearly drank me dry. Might have to close up early tonight.
Celebrating something, Hasabara. Whatever it is, we'll drink to that. Pour us around.
I wish I could. Seems the barrels have run dry tonight. But if you'll come back on the morrow...
Run dry?
Oh,
Good enough for these drunkards? You
gonna
can't
go
spare
wild.
a drop for those of us who are risking our lives for you on the battlefield? Ah!
My guy, stop being entitled.
Who are you calling a drunkard?
Don't you fools go spoiling the one spot of happiness we've had in a long while.
Enough! My tavern's a place for forgetting troubles, not stirring them up. You do well not to look down your noses at the very people you've sworn an oath to protect. You want respect? Go out there and earn it by ending the war. Then there'll be drink aplenty to go around.
You tell them, Hasabara. They're no better than us.
You lot aren't blameless either, you know. These soldiers do put their lives on the line to protect yours. They get enough grief on the battlefield without you giving it to them off it.
I'm sorry. I don't know what came over me.
No, I shouldn't have let my temper flare.
Look, there's still some drink left here. How's about you raise a glass together?
Yeah. You can have some of ours, too.
Well, don't mind if I do.
Aw, everyone's all nice.
Level
That
head
worked
you've got
itself
on your
out.
shoulders there, Hasabara.
Hell yeah.
It helped that you pitched in when you did.
Ah, now that hits the spot.
Doesn't it? Here, I'll pour you another.
See? Now this is what I live for. Giving people a place they can come together and leave the worries of the world behind for a while. Somehow, I know this is what Theo would have wanted me to do. If only I could raise a glass with him.
Aw.
I reckon he'd be proud. You've made a spot of sunshine for people that don't get much of it these days. People like me.
What with business booming again, it looks like I'm going to have my hands full for a while. Don't you worry for your mama, Theo. As long as there's ale to be poured and smiles on her customers' faces, she'll be just fine.
still ship them. I feel like Eredor and Hasabara would be so good together.
Lord Serenoa.
What's up, Julio? Or Julio?
About that noblewoman, yes? Eredor's told me what happened.
Forgive me. I know that I should have waited for your orders before acting. But I could not leave that woman to her devices. The longer the war goes on, the more the people suffer. I imagine their feelings toward their rulers must be souring. In spite of this, that woman tried to use your name to wrest their food away. Had we let her go free, people would have thought she was acting on your orders, and their mistrust of you would have only grown. I believed we had to show them that soldiers stand for justice, and acted. I accept whatever punishment you deem fit.
There will be no punishment, for you have committed no wrong.
My lord.
Anna looked into her. It seems that woman's ill repute dates back to her days in Glenbrook. Likely, she thought to obfuscate her misdeeds in the Crown City by hiding within my troops. But she wasn't able to conceal her true self in the end. I suppose she thought to earn my favor with the stolen food. Unfortunately for her, she misjudged my principles.
Lord Serenoa.
Forgive me for my oversight in this matter. I shall take all necessary precautions to ensure nothing like it happens again.
So, you aren't upset with me for throwing a noblewoman in jail?
Had I been in your position, I would have done the very same. For her misdeeds in Glenbrook and the crime you caught her committing, I shall order her banished at once. She will never again be welcome in the Wolffort domain. Let it serve as a deterrent to any others who would prey upon the common people. It is rare that I meet someone so committed to holding those of high birth accountable for their actions. I hope you will continue to do so. House Wolffort must be a house the people can trust.
Of course, my lord. You have my word. I knew I made the right choice. Unlike Patriot, Lord Serenoa is a man worth serving. Yes, I finally found where I am meant to be.
Aww.
I cannot rest on my laurels. Yes, I must serve my new lord as best I can.
I got a new, very loyal, what's the word? Like, friend. A very loyal friend, I guess, is fine. The former saint has only one regret left in his heart.
Who in their right mind sends an old man on a scouting mission? Oh, goddess take me. I can't wait to retire. Of course, I can't very well do so until the war is over.
What will you do once it is?
I can't say I have any plans in particular. But there is one regret I'd like to remedy. I'd like to find my first love. I still dream of her, even all these years later.
Huh.
She was the general of the Esfrosti forces during the siege of the Citadel of the Sands. The turning point of the Salt Iron War, that was. I never learned her name. We were enemies, yes, but it was clear from the battle we waged how much we admired one another. She caught a beautiful figure on the battlefield. Her every movement was majestic.
Wasn't Groma part of the Aesfrost
fearsome warrior
group?
Truly, there is none in the world like her. I wonder what might have been had we met in a tavern instead of as enemies.
I see. I hope you can find her then.
As do I. As do I.
Well, looky here. Easy mark.
Let's get them before they wise up.
There.
He saw us? Well, we're too far away. Ain't humanly possible.
Monster!
How did you sense those bandits from such a distance?
Rats like that will never get the better of me. Until this war is over, I've only begun to fight.
I can see you mean that.
Ah, that's it. I know what I'm going to do when we're done fighting. I'll travel the land till I find the Esfrosti general who caught my eye. It's strange, but I sense her presence wherever I go. Might be she's closer than I think. If that's the case, I'd better do what I can to end this war, and fast. Time to work twice as hard for an early retirement.
Alright, I wasn't honestly expecting to get through all of them, but we did. We're almost at 2 hours, so I'm gonna end this here. We will do these 2 main missions on the next part. Leave a like, guys, subscribe, share with a friend. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you then.